Hi guys, I'm Jill Powell Glam. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to teach you how to do some skin techniques on Miss Brittany. So we will be using, she's got a little bit drier skin. She has a little situation that we had to cover. So if you want some tips or tricks on that, stay tuned and I will show you them. All right, so we're gonna jump right into skin. I went ahead and prepped your skin with moisturizer, eye cream. You said you're a little more dry right now.
Yes.
Right? And Brittany just had a little situation at the dermatologist, so I'm just gonna call it out. I mean, why not? So she has a little bit of scabbing right here in this area. If you have a blemish or something that you picked or a scab on your face, you can use Neosporin. You want to keep it nice and hydrated. You want to prevent infection. So Neosporin is your best friend. It's seriously my best friend. I keep it in my kit. I keep it in my travel bags. So you want to make sure that you are healing your skin. So I went ahead and prepped. We did a lot of moisture in that area. We are going to keep it hydrated. You can't always cover up scabs, but we're going to do our best. So just wanted to call it out. All right, we are going to start with some primer. Do you use primer normally?
I do.
You do? What kind of primer do you like?
I use Tarte. It's an anti-aging primer.
Love Tarte. Love anti-aging. I am going to use Julep, and these are actually two different primers. I've got Blank Canvas Illuminating and Blank Canvas Mattifying. I'm going to use both. You want to know why? I bet you do. So I'm going to use the mattifying in the areas that I want to keep her nice and matte. I don't want to dry out her skin. So she already told me she's dry, so I don't want to dry it out too much, but we over-hydrated. So you can see the glow, and I just want to make sure that her skin is nice and matte in the areas that I want to keep matte. So I'm using my fingers to apply this. Middle finger, ring finger, kind of whatever you want. And if you see, I'm going through the center of her forehead. I'm going to go down her nose. We're just going to rub this kind of into the skin. I don't want a lot of excess. You don't want your primer being so heavy that it rolls or that it reacts with your foundation products. So again, down the nose. And we're going to try to avoid her owie. I'm going to do a little bit just on the cheeks right here. I do like this part to be a little bit more matte. And around the nose. We overhydrated around her nose because she had a little bit of dryness. We have no humidity right now here in Southern California, right?
Right.
So it is drying out our skin. And we are supposed to be in fall, but it's still really hot. All right. So we matted out those areas. Do a little bit more over here. I can still see too much glow. And then now I'm going in with Illuminating. And the Illuminating is still going to prime, but it's going to be a little bit more hydrating. So I'm going to do Illuminating on her cheeks. Down here. Normally I would say to matte out your chin, but Brittany had a little bit of dryness on her chin, so I don't want to bring that out. So I'm actually going to use the Illuminating on her chin. There's so many different primers you can use. Some are silicone based, which are great for filling in pores and smoothing out texture. Some are hydrating, which are great if you have a lot of dry skin. So pick the primer that works best for you. And I obviously am using two on Brittany. You don't have to use two at home, but I had both. And she has two different concerns that I wanted to deal with. I wanted to hydrate her, but I didn't want it to be too much in the center of the face, so I chose two. No rules, you can kind of do whatever you want. So I'm just kind of finishing her off around the outsides. So primer, if you don't use a primer already, it acts as basically a barrier. It holds your foundation on, it smooths out texture, it makes it last longer. If you have a mattifying one, it will absorb oil throughout the day. So lots of functions for primers. So you love your Tarte primer.
Yes.
What do you love about it?
I love that it keeps my makeup on longer and keeps it in place.
Exactly. So with skin, we're gonna start with foundation. We've already done the primer. So foundation, I want something a little bit more hydrating. We could go tinted moisturizer, but I went ahead and chose Makeup Forever HD, and this color is Y315. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of Armani Luminous Silk. And this color is number 5.5. And you know me, I love my third color. So this is my third color. This one's a little bit more golden, probably too golden for her, but I just wanted to have something a little more yellow in case she's looking too pink. So this one's number 6 by Armani Luminous Silk. I love Luminous Silk. It just goes on the skin. It's like butter. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite foundations to use because it looks like skin. It's literally luminous silk. So it's like melts right into the skin. I mean, look at that. It doesn't even look like you have foundation on. But it covers, it's got that medium coverage. I'm using a flat foundation brush. So this is MAC 190. So just something that can kind of press it into the skin. I'm going right over the primer. The primer is adhering that foundation. I can see it just pulling it and sticking it. Exactly what I want it to do. So I started on her forehead. I'm gonna work my way around with these multiple colors. This color works really good for her kind of tan color. So that's why I started on the forehead, because I dipped into my darkest one. So I'm gonna use that same color along the cheeks. Again, where the sun naturally hits is where you want these kind of deeper colors. Not that this is deeper, but it's a little bit more rosy. She's got some red, she's got yellow undertones and red surface tones. So that's why I have yellows and reds in my foundations. Kind of working with her natural pigments to make it look the most natural. So again, along her cheeks, this is the same color on her forehead, that Luminous Silk number 5.5. I'm gonna tap over her owie. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into, I believe this is the Makeup Forever HD, and I'm gonna use this color along her jawline. Her neck has more yellow in it, so that's why I'm choosing a more yellow color for the perimeter of her face. I want it just to blend really seamlessly into her neck and not look too rosy. Going into her nose. And just kind of blending that down. This one might even be a tad darker than her neck, so I can go back in and highlight if I want to, but she's got some color in her face, so I wanted to make it all work. And I think that third color I used is probably too golden for her, so I'm gonna skip it. And that happens, and that's okay. I'm not perfect. So to add that lighter color back in, that original Armani color was too golden. But if you're olive, hey, there's a good color for you. I went ahead and found Too Faced Born This Way, another really beautiful hydrating foundation, great for drier skin, kind of great for anybody, honestly. So I'm just going to highlight, if you look over here, because her neck is lighter and her face is a little bit darker, I don't want to take all the color out of her face. So I'm highlighting just this bottom area with the lighter foundation. And that way my transition here goes right into her skin. You don't want that line of demarcation where you have that like mask on. So going a little lighter right there. And I would just use a fluffier brush with no product on it just to blend it out. So again, just highlighting the bottom area of her jawline, taking a fluffier synthetic brush so you can still blend creams and liquids with it really nicely, just along the bottom. Also gonna take this lighter color. I really like how it blends into her neck. I feel like it looks really natural. So I want to keep my cohesion of color. So I'm gonna apply a little bit just in this area. This is not concealer, this is foundation, but I wanna brighten up this kind of center triangle area, the triangle of light, as we used to call it, right in here. And again, this is not concealer, this is just foundation, but I want to brighten up this area because we added kind of a rosier, more neutral color along her forehead and cheeks. So I want that to create dimension, and it's doing exactly what I want it to do. Using my finger just to blend it out, press it into the skin, really want it to melt into that primer to kind of create just the most natural texture. Do you use brushes or fingers? What's your kind of go-to?
I use a sponge.
Use a sponge?
On the Beauty Blender.
Beauty blender. I love my Beauty Blender. I'm surprised I don't have it out right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
I just need to grab it. I usually do. Center of the nose, maybe a little bit of the center of the forehead. Again, this is still that lighter color, ivory from Too Faced. All right, so now that you said Beauty Blender, I feel like I have to go grab mine because I usually have it out, and for some reason, I don't have one out right now.
Does it work the same?
Not totally. So when I use my finger, I want it to like really press in the skin. The Beauty Blender is great. It does kind of mimic a finger, but it actually mimics your skin texture more perfectly, so you're gonna get a better finish. Fingers will smooth anything out. And what I like is that when you press, you're actually like eliminating extra, you're like pressing on, but you're also eliminating extra moisture at the same time. So, I don't know, just similar but different.
Very interesting.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to not waste the rest of my foundation, so I'm gonna put it on my foundation brush because I feel like I'm gonna use it later. So we're saving that. But I'm gonna wipe all this other stuff off. My little hand palette. Okay, so we have, see, I forgot that little hole. That little, you get me every time. I can't see that far. And I just wiped all the color off. Hold on. Rewind. Yep. All right. So because of the video, I can't always see this little side of the face right there. There we go. Don't forget all those little edges on that side, like I do. Okay. Much better. Almost. Fill that in.
I really like your nails, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Fun fact about my nails, guys. I had a really busy week, and I did not have time to get my nails done. No, up closest, please. But, mom hack. Gel nails, grown out, need to get them done. Throw a little glitter at the base, and you look like you have a new manicure. See? They're good from far. Far from good, but good from far. So, thanks. No, but honestly, do you ever have those days where you like need a fill or need a gel? I do gel because they stay on a little bit better, but like when you need your nails done, you can't. You can't get there because you have a million other things.
You need something to spruce them up.
Yep. Little glitter at the base.
I love it. I'm going to steal that idea.
Yep. Or if one of them comes off, sometimes like one will peel off. That can be your like accent nail. So just like load the glitter on that like one nail. A lot of times it's like a lot of times my pointer finger because I think I peel things with my pointer.
Too much.
Yeah. I don't, just kidding. Don't pick my nose. No, but like I peel things with my pointer finger. So I always chip this one. See, it's chipped right there.
Yeah.
I always so sometimes this will be my like glitter finger, and then I just like peel the other side and do glitter finger, and then instead of your ring, it's your pointer. The other thing I do is those Impress stick-on manicures. Anytime like if I don't have time to get my nails done, I have to go to a wedding or an event or film. Those Impress manicures are awesome. I use them for my clients all the time. Demi loves them. I literally use them for so many people. So I am just taking the Beauty Blender and kind of going over all of Brittany's skin just to really press everything in. I like to make foundation and skin kind of one. It makes it look a lot more natural. And we're probably gonna go over and do just a tiny extra layer of a couple of the colors just to really make sure it's nice and smooth and pretty. So I'm going to take a little bit of that Makeup Forever HD, which was her forehead color. So I just took a little bit of the Makeup Forever HD foundation, which was her forehead color, and I'm just adding another sheer layer on top of what I already have, just to kind of create that beautiful finish. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that same color, go along the cheek. So this is just adding another sheer layer. I love working in sheer layers on the skin. If you need coverage or if you just want that like perfect finish, it's better than applying too much and then having it like not set properly. So we did the primer underneath, and Brittany's a little bit more dry, so I want to make sure that it's staying looking very hydrated and skin-like. So this beauty blender is helping. It's got some moisture in there. Another tip when you're working with a beauty blender, if you tend to be on the drier side, use a hydrating spray to hydrate your beauty blender. And then that way when you're applying everything, it's basically pressing hydration into your skin. So you can have, you know, your Fix Plus or your Caudalie Beauty Elixir or any of those kind of sprays that hydrate your skin. You can hydrate your beauty blender with it, since you have to get it wet to make it really soft. All right, I'm just pressing, pressing, pressing. And since you have your little owie here, I do want to press on top of that and not move it too much. You don't want to disrupt it. You just want to kind of have the makeup go right on top. And then a little bit of color on the chin. Okay, so we're gonna add some concealer. This is the new Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. I found this, I saw it online, I saw people talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm always down to try a new concealer, for sure. Then I took my mom shopping to Sephora because I had my 20% off, friends and family. And we tried a few different concealers and everything was looking so bad on my mom. So my mom is in her 60s. She has a little bit of texture under the eyes. The skin is just not as taut as it used to be. So I finally tried the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer on my mom. Seriously, it was like night and day from, I won't mention the other one, but it was very drying and it looked very crepey. I put this on, it melted right in the skin. It did not show any texture whatsoever. So if you have texture under your eyes, make sure you find a concealer that is right for you. It should not look dry. It should not look textured. It should not look crepey. It should do its job. So if it's not doing its job, find a new one. So here's my Laura Mercier. Again, it's brightening. This one is color 2C, I think. Yep, 2C. So the cool ones, the C, have more of a pink undertone, which is really great at brightening under the eye area. And look at that, like literally you see no texture. So I'm super happy with these. I only bought 3 colors. I should have bought more, and I think I'm going to go back and buy the rest. Actually not the rest because I mix a lot, but I'll probably buy half the line for my kit. So if you are experiencing any texture, if you have problems with things looking too dry, I would definitely say that this is a good concealer for you. And again, it's long wearing, so it's like hydrating but long wearing. It kind of does both of the things that you want it to do if you're a little bit more dry. So since you're a little more dry right now, Brittany, I'm just using this on you. And I use my finger, press it into the skin. You guys know I like to press my concealers in. You can look all the way up. There you go. And if you have them look up, you can get right close to that lash line. Any purples or darkness that you have under there will be brightened. Don't forget that inner corner. So I'm just kind of swooping my brush. This one is a concealer brush that Sephora had a little bit ago. It's the Hakuhodo ones. I don't know if they still have them. I think they had them on sale for a minute. Not sure if they still have this one. But what I love about it is it's a synthetic brush, but it's fluffy. So you kind of get that blended concealer look where it's not too heavy. Yeah, and look up again. I'm gonna get really close to your lash line. So I'm having Brittany look up so I can get right under her lash line. All right. So if you're a new mom, concealer is gonna be your best friend, so you might not be sleeping. Or if you're like me and you just don't sleep anyways, but Concealer is very, very important. So we're, again, just pressing, 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 using my finger, pressing that in. Sheer layers. You guys know I love my sheer layers, so we are just sheer layering her complexion products. Okay. There goes that brush. We finished the concealer, and I am going to contour with a stick foundation. So these are the Hourglass stick foundations. This is how I keep them in my kit. Super convenient. They kind of go in a circle. I've got a rubber band around them. So I'm gonna use one of their deeper colors. This one is Golden Amber, and I'm just gonna pull it out like this. So we're gonna just take a little bit of the stick, and I'm gonna draw it along Brittany's cheekbones. Right here, she's got a good cheekbone, so she doesn't need a ton of contour. And this color is a little bit more yellow, so I may need to add some bronzer in there just to like deepen it up. And then we are gonna take a smaller brush and give it a little blend. So kind of just circular motions and blending it up. I wanna keep the bottom of the contour wherever I drew it, pretty much where I drew it, because I don't want to pull her face down at all. So I'm just softening the edges, but keeping kind of where I drew it a little bit more strict. So I'm gonna have you turn this way. So again, Brittany's got good cheeks. We're all jealous of good bone structure, but she's got that divot right here, so I don't have to accentuate it with a super dark color. Some people, if you feel that your face is more full, you can go a little bit darker just to really make this bone pop out, but she already has a natural contour there. Just taking my finger and kind of blending down. I don't want that line to be super strict. I want it to be nice and soft. So I'm gonna take whatever's left on my brush, a little residual. She's got more of like this prominent chin, so she doesn't need a lot along her chin, but I do want it to kind of blend with her whole look. All right, so we've got some contour there. I may add a little powder at the end, we will see. I'm also going to go into blush right here. So we haven't done any powder on the face. She's got her foundations, she has a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna add some blush. Blush on top of a foundation when you don't have a powder on actually stays longer. So I always like to do my blush directly on top of foundation. Some people will foundation powder and then contour blush. I don't do it. I just don't do it.
Good to know.
Yeah. Do you powder and then blush?
I do.
Does your blush stay on all day?
No.
So the reason why, and I love you NARS, but I can never open. And it's like the easiest, you just have to like.
Find the sweet spot.
See, there you go. Just got it, did it. Okay, so my trusty NARS palette, I love this guy. I think for you, I'm gonna do a little bit more pink. So we're gonna go right in these tones right here. And again, she's got really good cheeks, so I'm just going to take my angle brush. This is a 168. My MAC brushes are old school, so a lot of the numbers have come off. And I'm just kind of pressing it along her cheeks. She's got such a good cheek that I don't want to bring too much into this area because she has beautiful cheeks already. So she's got a nice apple right there. I can do a tiny bit. But I'm using, again, these two colors, which would be Crave and Bumpy Ride. Bumpy Ride almost looks like Orgasm. So if these are limited from a palette, because I love my palettes, they're great for my kit. So if they're a limited edition, you can use Orgasm. I'm sure you can find something similar. This is kind of the soft, kind of peachy pink, and then a peach with a little bit of a sheen. So getting that color on her cheekbone. Again, right on top of the foundation to make it stick, make it stay. A little something there, there we go. So pretty. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got foundation, we have concealer, we have blush, we haven't done powder, we haven't done highlighter. I am going to do a loose powder or a powder foundation? Like, what's your go-to?
I do a powder foundation.
Thought so. So the difference between doing a loose powder and a powder foundation is the powder foundation will have a little bit more coverage. So you might find that it will smooth texture a little bit more than a loose powder. A loose powder is just gonna set the foundation. So if you have any texture, you may wanna opt for a powder foundation just to give it a little bit more of a smoothing, because it has talc, so it can build usually, or some type of building agent, just so, because it is a foundation. So that's gonna give you a nice smooth finish, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab one. Okay, so using a powder foundation, like I was saying, will smooth texture and just make it look really, really perfected. So these are the new NARS Soft Velvet Pressed Powder. There you go. And I'm absolutely in love with these. I grabbed 2 different colors. Shocker, 2 different colors. So we have one that's a little bit more neutral and one that's a little bit more golden. She has, again, a golden undertone with a lot of red surface tones. So I just wanna make sure that it looks natural. I'm gonna take this brush, this one's by Voss. I'm gonna start with the golden powder, and we're gonna go right, and we're just gonna press it right along where we did that lighter color on her chin. And again, this is just going to smooth. What I love about this powder, it's literally called Velvet Press Powder, and your skin looks like velvet. It's so smooth. It's so amazing. It doesn't look heavy or cakey, which I'm really excited about. Taking that same golden color through the center. I mean, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it's literally just like blurring everything. It's almost like it's like Facetune. I'm Facetuning her face right now. It's exactly what I'm doing. So we are Facetuning Brittany's face. So a little bit along the nose. And do you see I'm just kind of like pressing it? I don't want to like buff too much because I don't want to disrupt what we've done. Oh my gosh. Okay. This might be your new powder foundation. This is really good
I think it might be. You sold it to me and I haven't even seen it.
This is really good. I need a smaller brush. So I'm gonna go in with, this is MAC 225. I don't even know if they still make this, but if they don't, a big, fluffy, it looks like a blending brush, but it's like too big for the eye. I love it for powder or for getting nooks and crannies on the face. So I do a lot of celebrity makeup and I need to touch up. And so I like to use something really small to kind of touch up only where I feel like I need to. But I like to go around the nose with this, going over your little owie. I'm just gonna press, press, press. I don't wanna make it too dry. Right here through the brows. Oh my gosh, this is like so pretty on you.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. So again, this is still that golden color, and I'm just kind of sweeping it where we did that lighter ivory. With the Too Faced. I don't like too much powder under the eye, so just one quick sweep is all you need. So then I'm gonna take that more kind of pinkish neutral, and I'm gonna go around the outsides, the perimeter, and then, yes, I'm going right on top of the contour and the blush that we did, pressing that in. It will soften it a little bit, so if your blush is ever too strong, that's something that you can do. You can take a powder and kind of go over the top of it. Pressing, pressing. So I packed on a decent amount of powder. I do love these NARS, the Velvet Press powders, because it does smooth texture. So you were a little bit more dry, and typically on a dry person, I don't like to use a lot of powder, but I wanted to smooth texture. So at the end, after we finished everything, I would suggest a hydrating spray. So I love Fix Plus, something like that. If you use a lot of powder, you can spray Fix Plus all over the face. It sets everything and it hydrates the powdery finish.
Are we gonna do highlighter? It's my favorite.
Okay, I love highlighter too because it makes you look so glowy. It's so pretty. Yes, we have to do highlighter. So, do you have any like specifics? Do you do a powder highlighter or a cream highlighter?
I'm actually really into the glitter drops from Cover FX right now.
Ooh, I actually haven't tried those yet.
Oh my God, they're everything.
Yeah? Okay, so that's like a liquid.
So I like a glitz. Like I like you to see it from...
You like to be blinged
yeah.
out, far. Okay, I have a few. Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. What do I do? Okay, one of mine that is like, have you tried this one?
No.
Okay, this highlighter is really, really beautiful. It's the Amreezy highlighter by Anastasia, and it's really blingy.
Good.
It's a powder highlighter, so you can do this on top of a cream highlighter if you want. Woo, girl. You'll be able to see this from outer space, though. Yes. Let me tell you. Okay, so you love a highlighter. So we are going to, I'm using basically I don't know. This one's a Sephora brush. It's one of their IT brushes from a long time ago, but there's a lot of brushes that are this shape. So it's like a small dome, kind of flat on the top. And I'm just applying the highlighter to the tops of her cheekbones. I like to do this almost like V right here with your face shape, just because it will make everything stand out. You've got good cheeks. So kind of right at the top of the cheekbone and then right along the top of the brow. So we did that highlighter right along the tops of your cheekbones. Do you ever do it on your nose?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So some people will do kind of like a exclamation point. That's what I like to call it. It's like straight down the bridge of the nose, a little bit here. It depends on the occasion. I sometimes like it here. Sometimes I feel like it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with highlighter, but just for fun, we're gonna do it there. I'm also gonna add it to your Cupid's bow. So I'm just taking, this is an Elcie brush, so something kind of small. It's like a blending brush. And just for fun, we're gonna add a little bit. She's a little drier, so we're gonna add just a little shine on her chin. Normally I don't like the chins to be super shiny. And if you're doing TV or anything, they're not gonna be happy with you if you use all this highlighter. But in an everyday, walking around, you may as well glow. Glow. I'm also actually going to do a little bit on the inner corners of the eyes. Can you hear my stomach growling? Okay, good.
I can't hear.
Okay, good. You did?
Yeah.
And if you want to, you can do just some at the bridge of the brow. The arch, sorry, not the bridge. The arch. Right here. And those are just some great places to highlight. So again, tops of the cheeks, center of the nose, Cupid's bow, inner corners of the eyes. Just give a little glow. So that does it for all of the skin. As you can see, so we did foundation, a couple different colors. Ooh, we actually did skincare. We started out with skincare, so we did moisturizer, eye cream, did a little bit of primer. I used 2 different primers. So we did a little bit of mattifying through the center of the face, the illuminating in certain areas because Brittany's a little bit more on the dry side. And then we went in with a couple different foundation colors. You guys know how I do it. And actually had to correct a little bit. So one of the colors was too dark, so I lightened it up just along her jawline so that it blended in with her neck. Don't feel bad if you have to do that. Correct your mistakes. It's better than having that crazy line of demarcation. And then we did contouring with a stick foundation. So a little bit along her cheeks, blended that. Some beautiful blush in the cheek area. Again, we did the blush on top of the foundation to make it last longer. And then we powdered everywhere with the Velvet pressed powder from NARS. Just a smooth texture, set everything in, and then added the highlighter. So if you're not gonna do eyes, if you're completely done at this point, this is where I would apply that hydrating spray. If you are gonna do eyes, just wait till the very end, and that's when you would set everything with that hydrating spray just to make it look like skin. So I hope you guys learned something.
I did.
Yay, you learned a few things, right? Okay, awesome. So this is just, again, a simple way. She's a little bit more dry. We wanted a smooth texture. She had a little owie, we fixed it. We didn't even have to use that much for that. I mean, you were prepping me, I thought it was me like horrible. It was not horrible. So I hope you liked this video and you learned something. You learned something, right?
Of course.
Awesome. Thanks again for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below what you want to see next. All of the products used in my video are also linked below. And if you want to see more, follow me anywhere at Jill Powell Glam. Thanks again.